What's up guys, the following video is all about lifting accessories. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, this was pretty damn branded as far as Furious Apparel is concerned because I use Furious Apparel products throughout the entire video. So I'm not trying to be biased here, it's just that's the products I had on hand, so please forgive me if it feels a little bit too branded. But anyways guys, enjoy the video and I hope you guys learned something. What's up everybody, Furious Pete, and today we're talking about lifting accessories. We just released a bunch of new lifting accessories: Furious wraps, Furious sleeves, Furious straps, and heavy duty wrist wraps. Now, of course, you're doing this video because you just released all this stuff and you want to promote it. Yeah, I want to promote some good product, but I also want to go over all the uses of every single accessory because I constantly get questions. I'll be wearing wrist wraps and people will be like, why do you use those? I'll be wearing knee sleeves and people will be like, why do you use those? Obviously I'll be using straps, and then some people cue in as to why I use them, but I'm still gonna go over them just so you guys know, in case you're watching right now and you don't know what the difference is between a lightweight wrist wrap and a heavy duty wrist wrap, or what wrist wraps are, or how to put them on. I'm gonna go over them in this video just so you guys know, just in case you are wondering. If you guys know everything there is to know about lifting accessories, then go ahead, turn off this video because it probably won't be useful for you. All the product that I'm gonna be talking about is available at FuriousApparel.com. There will be a link in the description below. So let's start with the basics, lifting straps. Lifting straps are there for your heavy lifts or if you have a really shitty grip. So these straps are here for you when your grip fails. These straps are here to save your ass. So basically they will look like this when you unwrap them. You have to loop them in through the hole like this. And when you do that, you get a little bit of a shape like this. Now, if you put the lifting strap through one hole rather than the other, it'll be good for either your left hand or your right hand. So you wanna make sure that you put it through properly. So if not, it's no big deal. You just take it out and loop it through the other way. So this lifting strap in particular is good for my left hand. Why? Because when I tighten it, and I have the neoprene right there to protect my wrist, because if you don't have the neoprene, if you just have regular straps, you will see that the strap will dig into your hand big time and will cause some really bad red marks, which are gonna just make you look bad afterwards. So you wanna ensure that the strap is underneath here, just like so, and you will be able to wrap this strap around whatever bar you are trying to use. Now if you're trying, you can use barbells, you can use it for like lat pull downs, basically wherever you are incorporating your grip big time, that's where you want to use lifting straps. Now you don't want to use lifting straps non-stop. You don't want to use them for every single lift because then your grip will be totally shit. You want to use lifting straps when things get really heavy, when things are at the point where it's like you don't want your grip to fail you and you don't want to fail on the entire lift because your grip failed.
Once you have the strap on your hand, you can go ahead and simply, I am going to just use one hand to do this. You can use two to assist yourself, but once you're ready to get one strap in with one hand, you'll have a lot of difficulty to get any assistance from the other hand. So it's really important to learn how to do it just with one hand. So what you want to do is take your strap and go to the bar and just pull as much as you can and then work that strap around like so, just like that. And then once you get that strap all the way around, twist the bar with the strap until you have a tight grip right there, tight squeeze on your wrist. And so that when you are pulling up, you are one with the bar. There's no space in between the actual strap and the bar. So you got to have that nice tight squeeze and you can pull up.
So these are the Furious straps, super heavy duty material here to ensure that if you do super heavy lifts, like today I did a 615 beltless deadlift, no problems whatsoever. They are available at furiousapparel.com in camo and red right now. Next up, we got wrist wraps. Now, wrist wraps are here to protect your wrists. Now, I'm gonna go over the two products that we have. You can compare it to your wrist wraps or other wrist wraps or the product that you want from our site. So we sell two different kinds of wrist wraps, and I think it's really important that you don't get confused online. Some people will say that they have heavy duty wrist wraps, and very often if you see a heavy duty wrist wrap with like one little elastic line in the wrist is material, that's not a heavy duty wrist wrap, that's a lightweight wrist wrap. This is all elastic right here on this heavy duty wrist wrap. You can also tell it's heavy duty when you need a lot of effort to stretch it. If you don't need a lot of effort to stretch it, that is not heavy duty whatsoever. Wrist wraps are wrist supports. They're there to protect your wrists during heavy lifts. For example, you're doing bench press, right? And you're keeping your arm like this, and when you're going down, and let's say the weight is really heavy, and your wrist goes like this on the way down, can you imagine what happens to your wrist if you have, let's say, 400 pounds on your wrist right there, and you're going down and it just snaps back like that? What do you think your wrist is going to feel like afterwards? It's not gonna feel good. It's gonna fucking feel like shit. It's gonna be terrible. And you're gonna be in a lot of pain afterwards, and that pain is going to accumulate over time and it's gonna get worse and worse. So when you're doing heavy lifts, now I don't recommend doing wrist wraps all the time for your lightweight. You wanna use them for the heavier weights, unless you constantly have wrist problems and it's just super, super painful all the time, then obviously use wrist wraps all the time. But you want to incorporate these wrist wraps for those heavier weights. Now afterwards, I'm going to talk about a second wrist wrap, which is a bit more advanced. It's for the intermediate, advanced, super elite lifter. This is for beginner, intermediate, and advanced lifters, not necessarily for elite lifters. They can use them obviously and they'll be protected, but I feel like when they go to super heavy weights, they won't be as protected. These wrist wraps are super easy to put on. I'm gonna show a quick clip right here. So this is our heavy duty wrist wrap. It is available in 4 different colors. Please don't be mistaken on the internet when people say heavy duty wrist wraps. When you see a heavy duty wrist wrap and it only has, let's say, one elastic band going down the middle and the rest is just material, you do not have a heavy duty wrist wrap. This is all elastic right here, and it is stiff. It isn't as stiff as our Furious wraps, but this is still extremely stiff. So this is great for heavy lifting and for all everyday lifting. So just everyday support that you need for your wrist. Our other Furious wraps are perfect for extremely heavy lifts. Obviously you can use those for lighter reps as well if you don't tighten as much, but this one you can tighten a ton as well. This in particular is for my right hand. Now you'll be given a right and left wrist wrap. They are different. Each wrap has a thumb tab either on this side or on this side. The reason this happens is because you want to wrap your wrist wrap starting at the top, just like so. And when you do that, you ensure that if you wrap your entire wrist wrap, you can take off this elastic and it's gonna be at the top. It's gonna be at the top and it's not gonna bother your hands afterwards. If you start the other way, you're gonna have this little flap right here and it can get in the way of your lifts. So make sure you do put on your wrist wraps properly. Also, it is important to make sure that it goes on your wrists, not on your forearms. They're called wrist wraps for a reason. They're here to protect your wrists, not your forearms. Too many people slide them down way too far, or they'll start here, but they won't mount them tight enough and they're just gonna drop down. You wanna make sure that they're tight enough that you have to actually take them off in between each set. They're here to protect your wrists. They're not here just to look cool. Now these are our heavy duty wrist wraps and these are our Furious wraps. They are an extra 6 inches 24 inches in length. Now, extra length is always good when it comes to wrist wraps. 18 inches is great, it's gonna give you a lot of protection. 24 inches is just gonna give you that extra protection. The difference between the two materials used here for the wrap, this is competition grade elastic right here, which is going to ensure that you have the stiffest possible wrist wrap to ensure that you have the best possible wrist protection. These are available in 5 different colors: camo, red, black, pink, and purple. Again, available at furiousapparel.com if you are interested. This is mainly just a tutorial so you guys can see what they're all about, the different kinds of wrist wraps that are out there, and to get the product that is right for you. And finally, I'm going to go over knee sleeves. Knee sleeves. These are the knee sleeves that we just released, called the Furious sleeves, available in 3 different colors. These ones in particular that we released are 7mm thick neoprene. They are 30 centimeters in length, which is very important to note. These are a very long knee sleeve as compared with a lot of other knee sleeves out there. You'll see knee sleeves be chopped about to here. And I feel like that is not enough protection, but for some people it is enough protection. There are many different thicknesses of neoprene. This one is 7mm, so this is a very thick knee sleeve, so that'll give you a lot of protection, and it'll be very good for those heavy lifts. There is also 5mm, there's also 3mm. So 3mm thickness won't give you that much protection at all for those heavy lifts, but if you're doing multiple reps, if you don't want your knees to be super sweaty, if you want to keep it on throughout the entire workout, then like a 3mm will be really good for you. Then you work your way up from there. So a 7mm is very good for those heavy lifts. You can take them off as you need to. You can also keep them on. Don't be surprised if they are very sweaty at the end. They are there to keep your knee very warm, especially during cold times. You want to make sure that those joints stay warm during the lifts. First of all, one of the big things that knee sleeves help you with is injury prevention. That is one of the biggest things and the most important things. You want to ensure that your knees are going to be good for many years to come. When you start doing all those heavy squats, believe me when I say knees will start to hurt after a while. So these will ensure that everything stays tight, everything stays together, so that when you do those heavy lifts, you will get as much protection as possible. If you have runner's knee, jumper's knee, knee sleeves will help you with the pain. Also, one of the big things is when you are transitioning into a super heavy weight you've never tried before, very often people get very injured because they go too heavy. Now, don't get me wrong, I've gone into some super heavy weight and I failed. But I took the proper precautions, whether it's with a belt, whether it is with a knee sleeve. It does help. It does help when you transition into a heavier weight. It just protects your knee more. When you've never done a certain weight and you just jump into it, your body's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? This hurts. Let's stop. Let's stop before I get injured. And then when you start going down, they're like, oh, I don't know how to handle this weight. When you have something surrounding your knee on the way down, your knee knows how to handle it because it has that protection going down. Just treat it as like a condom for your knee. That's pretty much what it is. It's a condom for your knee. Now, along with protecting your knee during squats, I feel like these are fantastic at protecting your shins during deadlifts. Now, when you're doing deadlifts, you want to ensure that the bar is super close to your body when you are picking up that bar. When you are doing that lift, you want to keep that bar as close to you as possible. And as a result, that bar will go up your shin, and very often people will cut up their shin and have bloody shins. Sometimes people will use socks when they're picking up the bar, and that can work, but sometimes when you go really heavy, or if you have some really heavy duty knurling on that bar, it will cut up the socks. So this will give you some really good protection, plus they look a lot cooler than super high top socks, especially for us guys, right? So these look a little cooler. Again, these are the Furious sleeves we just released. They are available in 3 different colors and 6 different sizes. I think that's really important as well. Something I didn't discuss yet is the sizing. You want to ensure that, you know, there's going to be, I personally wear 2 different kinds of knee sleeves. I wear extra large and I wear large. Large is when I'm going super heavy and I want my knees to be so freaking tight. I want everything to be so damn tight. And so it's a struggle to put them on. It's a struggle to put them on. And then if I want just some, you know, some nice protection here and there, or if I want to use them as shin sleeves, I will use a larger size so they can just slide up and down. If you don't know how to put on a knee sleeve, here's a quick tutorial. Guys, let's talk about knee sleeves. Now, I often deadlift barefoot, so I am here without any shoes, so it is easy to put these sleeves on right away. If you obviously work out in your shoes, which is great, you need to probably take your shoes off before you put on your knee sleeves. Now, the Furious sleeves come in 6 different sizes, so make sure that you do get the appropriate size. I personally use extra large, and sometimes I use a large size depending on how heavy I'm going. If I really want it super tight, I go for the large size. If I want it a little bit looser, I go for extra large. These can be used for 2 different things. One, they can go over your knees as indicated, as knee sleeves. And 2, they can actually go just over your shin and protect your shin as you're doing deadlifts. Obviously, when you are doing deadlifts, you want to keep the bar as close to you as possible when you are bringing up the bar during the actual movement. So instead of having bloody shins, you can have a little bit of protection with some knee sleeves. Sometimes some people will have very high socks. That is to protect them as well, but this does the job as well. It's also very comfortable and stylish. Anyway, so if you were to put it on your shin, you would just put it on just like so. And then if you are doing, obviously you want to put it on your knees. This is a tight one. This is a tight one, and I'm going to show you that this is a very tight knee sleeve, but I'm going to show you guys a trick to put them on. So you want to fold them in half, just like that. And then you bring them up. It's a lot easier to bring them up when they're folded like this. Just like so. And then when you get to your kneecap, you take the rest of the knee sleeve and you bring it all the way up. And you're good to go. This is a very tight knee sleeve right now, and it would definitely protect my knee greatly. Remember, these aren't supposed to just be there for fashion and looks. They're here to protect your knee. They're here to give you comfort. They're here to warm you up, and most importantly, protect you from any injuries. Again, those are the Furious sleeves. You can find them at furiousapparel.com, link in the description below. All right, guys, that is lifting accessories. I do apologize if that felt very branded. Obviously, I'm using my own product to talk about every single accessory, so there's a little bit of too much branding, and I apologize, but you know, I'm proud of these products. I know that they're good products. I'm not saying you have to get these products to be good in the gym. There's plenty of really good lifting accessories out there, but I'm just super satisfied with these, and I know that they're super high quality and will ensure that you guys have great lifts. But of course, this video is all about telling you guys what lifting straps are, the different kinds of wrist wraps out there, the different kinds of knee sleeves out there, and to ensure that you guys get the right product that is right for you. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys liked it. We'll catch you guys later. You guys stay sexy, stay hungry, get gains, and get laid. Boom! Alright, Team Furious, thanks again for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Link will be right above my head. Check out last week's video. Link will be right there. Check out my vlog channel. Link will be right there. And check out my gaming channel. Link will be right there. And of course, if you are interested in any Furious apparel, link will be right below me. Check out everything that we have in stock. Catch you guys next time.